the curse of awareness. When you feel like you don't perceive reality on the same level as neurotypical people, you kind of feel like, damn, it's kind of lonely. You know, they are thinking about their personal dramas. You know, they have a feud with their best friend and they have a huge conflict with their partner. They're thinking about what should they buy next. You know, some unnecessary things, materials like some fancy clothes. This is what like people think on a daily basis, but what you think it would be like death, your existence. You know, you try to understand yourself, why you are here and why you are what you are, and why do you believe what you believe, and you know, you question every single thing. I don't know, somehow you feel tranquil, and sometimes you just like want to shut it off. You know, I don't mean like in a suicidal way. I mean like you just want to be like a normal person, you know, don't think about things much, just do, right? But just can't do it because that's how your brain operates. It is who you are, you know? And when I see it like that, sometimes I feel envious to people who can live their life normally, you know, they enjoy some like mundane activities like cooking and spending time with family. Me simultaneously, I overanalyze every single thing. You know, this person will eat only pork, and this person doesn't want to talk much, and I'm just going to eat this and this. You know, A and B. Damn, dude, like this is like how my brain operates. You know, sometimes you don't even want to think about things all the time. It is so energy consuming. You're so mentally exhausted. I just wish that, you know, everybody will feel me, you know, they will perceive things the same way. You no longer enjoy superficial dialogues anymore. You know, they would ask you like, how are you? You know, I'm good. And they would go like, oh, what's your plan for the weekend? And I just reply to them, yada yada. And you know, they're just going to ask like, oh, what do you like? You like this restaurant? You like this food? Dude, don't you have like a better question to ask me, you know? Like we've known each other for a while and you still ask the same question forever. At this point, I better talking with ChatGPT than, you know, it is more it is deeper than you at this point. Like I'm so tired of everyone around me. I mean, I'm not trying to change you guys, but I didn't mean like you as a viewer, you know, I mean like people around me. And I know that I cannot change you guys, but why are people so content with their current situation and be satisfied with being stagnant? I just can't fathom it. Like, how is that even possible? You were going to tell me that you were the same person as who you were 5 years ago, and you feel completely fine with that. Like, dude, my gosh, you know, it is like you I think that I would rather be sitting here in this place and just staring at the ocean for 5 years straight, doing nothing. Like, dude, don't you want to like step, you know, in the ocean and maybe like swim, you know, try something new, or I don't know, look at the fish or like sharks in the water or something. I don't know, just do something new, you know, rather than not doing like anything at all. I just don't understand them at all. Excuse me. I don't think it is that bad if you can reconcile with silence. You know, you feel okay with being in complete solitude. You have control over your thoughts, even though you feel disconnected to the world. I mean, that is the price you have to pay for being royally aware. I know that you don't, I'm not the one who chose to be like this, right? But you just have to play with the cards you are dealt. You cannot choose to operate a different way because otherwise you will inevitably torment yourself because it is not your natural mode. Imagine if you are a quiet, antisocial person and you force yourself to fit in with modern society by going to clubs, trying to make so many friends, and you feel so exhausted, the need to please everyone, you get to say yes to every party you are invited. Every time they ask you to hang out with them, and you get to say yes in order to maintain friendships with these people, and you don't even value them. You just try to fit in and tormenting yourself unnecessarily because you know that you would rather talk with some analytical, hyper conscious people like you or like-minded people, even though these people might not exist in your area or city whatsoever. You still maybe like you haven't found these people yet, but at least you feel better with yourself, sitting alone in a random park on a bench and just like looking at the nature, thinking about, the essence of nature, who you are and what you like, how people are, you see through their incentives, you understand why they want to befriend you because they can take advantage of you, they can exploit you and you see through it, but it is your choice, whether you want to be manipulated by them or not. You're not a puppet, you can do what you want. They would definitely be upset over you when you distance yourself from them. They would be like, oh, this guy, try to be cool, but in fact what you do is you're trying to protect yourself, but they see it differently. They are projecting their insecurities. They would try to lower you down in order to make themselves feel superior to you. And if you give them a certain reaction or try to go back to them and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was caught in the moment. I want to befriend you, etc." Then, yeah, man, like that is a huge loss of you. You got to be decisive, with what you want, who you are, who you allow to be in your life. Because imagine if you were to be friends with these people for a few years and you don't like them at all, but you're afraid of being alone or not fitting in. And then after that, you realize that, like, damn, in the last few years, I just wasted my time. I don't like these people. These people don't even like me. They talk behind my back. They are disingenuous, that they're not being authentic or like genuine to you. You just feel regretful, and I didn't want that to befall your life. So you better make a good decision because it will dictate your future. And when you understand it like that, oh, I'm not operating on the same level. You are on like um level like 10, they're on like level 1. If you're talking to each other, you will never understand them. You get to like lower yourself to level 1 in order to communicate and be able to socialize with them. And it's not good for you. You are forcing yourself to be out of your character, your nature. It's unhealthy. Like really, it's like you are a disciplined person and you're forced to be indolent. It sucks, right? And you just need to learn how to live with it because we as humans, we are adaptive creatures. We would do whatever it takes to like survive. You can definitely like live alone. That's what I believe in. Like in the past, I also thought that like I would never be able to live alone. It is scary. I would have no one to talk to. I would have like no one to text, and it's scary, right? But then like now, I literally have zero notifications. I don't hang out with anyone. I don't have friends who I call or text. Nothing at all, and it's completely fine. You would start to feel like you are living in the loop. Maybe like 7 days loop. Working for 5 days and just recovery for 2 days and just like in repeat. I don't think it is that bad at all. You will start to learn about yourself, and you may start enjoying little moments. I've said it before, like cooking or doing some chores, laughing at your life. You know how absurd it is, because dang, you realize that like you have no friends. You start pretending, and you just see people that they care about nonsensical, irrational things like dramas. Oh, this celebrity cheated on her boyfriend. Oh, people from the right, they are saying this, blah blah blah. Trump says that, blah blah blah. Oh, it's so bad. I'm so pissed right now. Like, I just don't understand. Why would you let these external factors control your emotion? Imagine if you have like a good day from work, everything went fine. You uh got promoted, and then you come home, scroll for a few minutes. Trump says something obnoxious and absurd, racist, sexist, whatsoever, and it pisses you off, and you feel like this motherfucker ruined my whole fucking day, and you got pissed. In fact, he didn't do that. You are the one who let Donald Trump ruin your whole day because you give values like to his words. You give meaning. You assign those meaning to his words. That's why you feel mad. For instance, if I uh, say something bad to you, but in my own language, and you don't understand a shit, would you be pissed? You don't even understand what it means. You cannot be pissed, right? If I don't tell you that, hey, you know, if I say akadabra and it means fuck you in my language, if I don't tell you that, you would never know. If I just say like, akadabra, you would be like, what? What does it mean? You would react this way, or you don't give a shit. You maybe let it slide. Maybe you think that I'm just being goofy or whatever, childish, right? Because you don't know what it means. Same thing. Because if you don't give a shit what he's saying, then you're going to be fine, right? Damn, like I feel like this video is quite long already. I mean, that is like how your life will be when you start to choose yourself over um being like trying to fit in, because it doesn't like give you anything at all when you think about it. Because I mean, it all comes down to your decision. If you think that, oh, I would be happier if I have so many friends, then by all means. But just think about it. Try to calculate the ROI, because at the end of the day, not everyone will be in your life forever. You know, I believe that you have parted with so many people in your life, your friends, maybe like some relatives, family, and it is part of our life. Get over it and move on. When you understand it like that, you just don't give a shit about people's opinions, even if the whole world is against you. They think that you are an immoral, bad, evil, dumb, arrogant person. But at the end of the day, the only person that knows you the best is you. Would you let their words define your identity, or would you just like define who you are yourself? Your choice. And I think that is uh the message that I want to like live with. Thanks a lot for watching until here. It means the world to me. And see you next video.